Matterport just laid off 30% of its workforce, about 170 workers, and the stock price increased dramatically. We're here to talk about what's going on with Matterport from the view of a Matterport service provider and somebody who books gigs across the country. And we're going to end with what Matterport can do to finally drag itself across the line of profitability. Now, for those of you who aren't already in the know, Matterport had its IPO in July 23 of 2021. They launched at $14.23 a share. 4 months later, bulls had brought the share up to $33.05. And today, as of this recording, mid-July 2023, we're down to about $3.50 a share. Now, this is in the news of Matterport laying off 30% of its workforce in order to help get it closer to the goal of being an actually profitable company. But what I want to talk about today is really what this means, why this has likely been a long time coming and what we could have looked for, and why Matterport is still a valuable company, and also what can be done in the next quarter that could bring Matterport to profitability. So let's jump right in. It's been a while now that Matterport has been encroaching on the individuals who initially invested both in the cameras and in the monthly subscriptions in order to use the Matterport platform. They started selling directly to individuals who might be interested with a $299 package that was really geared towards real estate agents, which is the bulk of Matterport's actual service. Although you can do a lot cooler things with Matterport at resorts, car dealerships, and other things that I've mentioned in other videos. In reality, what makes Matterport a company that's worth staying with, a company that's worth continuing to engage with, are the patents that it holds. Even when Matterport first hit the scene in 2011, those Matterports are going to last until 2031, and they've been rigorously filing patents ever since. The reality is that there's really nobody else in the field that's doing what Matterport is doing. There are other quality virtual tour providers. The next best that comes to mind is easily Cloud Pano. 3D Vista is also good software. Cool is okay. But they are the only ones that have this very simplistic, you take this camera right here, you put it on a tripod, you move it through a space with a mid to high level iPad, or you can even run them with iPhones or even Android phones now, and you're able to upload and generate a 3D model. You're able to get floor plans. Are they perfectly accurate? I'm sure they're a little better if you use, higher end cameras like the BLK360 or even the Pro 3, which has its own set of issues. But out of the flagship Matterport Pro 2 cameras, you're able to get a fairly decent floor plan that's not good for construction or anything like that, but is perfectly reasonable for super rough estimates to give a potential buyer an idea of what they're looking at. And really, that's why Matterport is going to be a company that's going to continue to be worth being engaged with, even as it sort of stabs both the Matterport service providers like myself or their own employees in the back in the name of getting to profitability. Now, why do I say they're stabbing people in the back? Because there are very simple and plain things that they could do in order to boost revenue, in order to help get themselves to a position where the system would be easier to run both for the Matterport service provider and to make things more profitable. It's ridiculously simple. Let us run ads. It's very plain. I'll give a really great example. We have over at Momentum 360 a couple schools that we've done with Matterport. One of the things that has stopped us from doing lots of deals with other spaces is the ongoing hosting fees associated with Matterport tours. If you allow us to run AdSense in the beginning of tours, if you allow us to run, let's take the school, for example, ads that are targeted towards parents or towards kids have a very high cost per click. This doesn't need to be something that's applicable to all virtual tours on the Matterport platform. Perhaps a tour needs to reach a certain threshold of views per month, have a certain diversity in viewership, be categorized in a certain class. But surely allowing Matterport service providers to have a severely reduced or no hosting fee in exchange for letting Matterport run ads. I mean, there's got to be some magic there that is going to be able to help all those involved. Obviously, as a publicly traded company with shareholders, their prime directive is to make money, and nobody is going to really be able to hold that against them. But in consideration of the fact that Matterport is really the only one doing what they're doing at scale, at ease, you know, yeah, you can get higher level architecture, software platforms, you can get much more expensive cameras, but you can get these used for $1,000 now in great condition. So really, Matterport isn't going anywhere. Yes, you know, the layoffs certainly sting for the 170 people who got that notice. This is great for Matterport shareholders and perhaps also for the Matterport service provider, in the sense that their investments that they've made aren't going to be necessarily going away. For more information on Matterport and how things are going to turn out, definitely stay tuned. I'm going to update as more information comes out, but this is definitely something to keep an eye on as the Matterport system continues to evolve, as we watch the stock price slowly increase on news that they have laid off 30% of their workforce, about 170 individuals. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one.